You can't trust motivation. Let's get that straight from the beginning, because if you're waiting to feel like it, you're already losing. Motivation is a liar. It shows up with fireworks, promising everything: energy, focus, excitement. And then it disappears the moment things get uncomfortable. Sound familiar? How many times have you said, "This is the year I'll get my life together," only to quit 2 weeks in? You weren't weak. You weren't lazy. You were just relying on something that was never meant to carry you. Because motivation is emotion. Discipline is decision. And if you want to change your life, you need to stop chasing motivation and start building discipline. Let me tell you something no one talks about. Winners aren't more motivated than you. They're just more consistent. That guy at the gym at 5 a.m. every day, he's not always motivated. Most days, he probably doesn't feel like going, but he shows up anyway. That entrepreneur crushing it with $1 million business. She didn't build it by being hyped up 24/7. She built it by doing the work, even when it was boring, repetitive, and hard. They've learned the secret. Motivation is the spark, but discipline is the fuel. You don't build greatness with emotion. You build it with repetition. And yeah, I know that sounds unsexy. We want hacks. We want shortcuts. We want that one podcast, that one book, that one quote that's going to change everything overnight. But real change? It's boring. It's quiet. It's showing up when no one's watching. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent when it counts. You think successful people don't get tired? You think they don't feel lazy? Of course they do. But here's the difference. They've trained their mind to act regardless of emotion. And that's the muscle you need to build, not the motivation muscle, the discipline muscle. Because motivation says, "I'll do it when I feel like it." Discipline says, "I'll do it anyway." Motivation is a guest. Discipline is a roommate. One stays for a day, the other stays for life. If you only work when you're motivated, you'll never be consistent. And if you're never consistent, you'll never win. Let me ask you something. How much time have you already lost waiting to be motivated? How many dreams are you still planning to chase when you finally feel ready? Let me save you some pain. That feeling may never come. But you know what can come? Action. Small, quiet, unglamorous action. You don't need to climb the whole mountain today. You just need to take one step, and then another, and then another. Because that's how discipline is built. Not in intensity, but in consistency. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wait to be inspired to do it. You just do it every day. Why? Because it's part of who you are. That's the level of identity you need with your goals. You don't go to the gym because you're motivated. You go because you're the kind of person who doesn't skip workouts. You don't write that book because inspiration struck. You write it because you're a writer, and writers write. See the difference? Discipline isn't about forcing yourself. It's about becoming someone who doesn't need to be forced. You're not a robot. You're a builder, and the life you want isn't going to build itself. You'll have days where you're tired, days where nothing seems to work, days where progress feels invisible. That's normal. That's part of it. But you keep going, because the difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't talent, isn't luck, isn't motivation. It's discipline. Discipline is your safety net when motivation disappears. Discipline is your anchor in chaos. Discipline is your promise to yourself that you keep, even when it's hard. And if you've been breaking that promise over and over again, you're not broken. You're just untrained. But here's the good news. Discipline is trainable. Start small, ridiculously small. 5 push-ups, 2 minutes of reading, 10 deep breaths instead of grabbing your phone. It's not about doing more. It's about doing something every day. Don't chase perfect. Chase consistent. Because consistent beats perfect. Every single time. And yeah, people will doubt you. Your own mind will doubt you. But you're not here to prove anyone wrong. You're here to prove yourself right. You're here to become the version of you that does hard things. The version that doesn't negotiate with excuses. That doesn't beg for motivation. That doesn't wait for the stars to align. You move, you act, you show up. That's discipline. And once you have that, you become dangerous. Because now, you're not driven by how you feel. You're driven by who you're becoming. Let me tell you something. I wish I had learned sooner. Discipline creates freedom. Read that again. Discipline creates freedom. You think discipline is restrictive. Like, it's a prison of routines and rules. But here's the twist. The more disciplined you become, the freer you are. Free from guilt. Free from chaos. Free from waking up every day, wondering why your life isn't changing. You want to wake up proud of yourself. Build discipline. You want to stop breaking promises to yourself. Build discipline. You Want to finally get out of that loop of almost starting but never finishing? You already know the answer. It's not another motivational video. It's not another Monday. It's not waiting for the perfect mood. It's one simple word: discipline. Start today. Start now. Start with something you can't talk yourself out of. Because every time you act without feeling like it, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. And those votes add up. They become a habit. They become your identity. They become your new reality. So stop chasing motivation. It's time to build discipline. Because in the end, motivation will leave you, but discipline will carry you. If this message hit home, do me a favor, drop a like and hit that subscribe button. Let's keep building together. Your future self is counting on you.